Hey, welcome back, guys, for another video brought to you by your one and only literary pharaoh. I wanted to talk about the recent one of the recent uploads on Jason Whitlock's channel. It was a panel, not a panel, but it was Jason Whitlock, and he had like two other guys on his show called Fearless. It airs on YouTube. I don't know what days it comes on, but occasionally I get the notifications that he had something on. I don't get to watch every one of his shows, but I do sort of tap in when there's a subject matter that draws my intrigue, that draws my interest. So I'll do that. So anyway, I was listening to one of his feeds, one of his podcasts, and they had this, the two guys talking about, including Jason Whitlock, talking about how, LeBron James has ruined the NBA and the load management thing, and they talked about the dynamic of Michael Jordan working with NBC in that interview he did with Mike Tirico, how Michael Jordan's on there talking about how, basically saying that his day and his era, guys played and it was a much better product. And Jason Whitlock was also inserting his 2 cents in there, saying that he does like what they're doing with Michael Jordan. It's not a critique on Michael Jordan. He's just saying that he talked about how horrible the commissioner is, the NBA commissioner Adam Silver is. He talks about how Adam Silver is weak, that he needs to lay down harder rules and things like that. And then basically LeBron James and his era, especially what he brought on with player empowerment, it seems to be frowned upon. But here I am, I'm going to say something that's not actually, I'm not being a contrarian here, but I agree and I disagree with their takes. Jason Whitlock was for Michael Jordan crapping on the NBA as it currently stands. One of the other panelists was like saying, well, it's not all LeBron James' fault. It happened after the Kobe era. The guy is blaming LeBron James. He's saying it happened after the Kobe era, when LeBron James era, took over, right? So he's blaming it on LeBron James, which is dumb to talk about these fucking eras. Doesn't even make sense. And then the other guy was saying, no, it's a process, that these things happen, that we need to be a little bit more patient, that it's not like a one-hit thing. And Jason Whitlock was more so talking about how, you can't influence these modern players, these young athletes. You have to force them. You have to put hard rules in, and to make it to where you can't load manage, and you have to play games, and blah, 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 blah. So in all, I'm going to say this. When people say, when you're great, there was a Jay-Z song that he made. He talked about, if you live long enough, you become, you get turned from a hero to a villain. And I think that's what happens with success, with longevity. When Michael Jordan is apparently, or symbolically, or that's what they're saying that he's doing, they're saying that he's crapping on the current NBA in terms of how the NBA is ran, with people load managing and things like that. I just think that LeBron James is a direct extension of Michael Jordan. If Michael Jordan played long enough, let's say Michael Jordan was still playing today, he would be the same way. He would be like another LeBron. It's just that LeBron came on the back end of Michael Jordan in terms of when you're talking about major eras. Now, you have other great players in between, but when we're talking about the two moguls, the two big ones, the ones that everyone always talk about, the ones that people love to debate who had a greater impact on the NBA, LeBron or Michael Jordan, or who was the greatest player, LeBron or Michael Jordan. So when you look at it from that perspective, the Jordan era was what it was. It was coming out it was being birthed from its infancy stage, from a stage where it wasn't getting that much recognition, and Jordan sort of like put the NBA on the map to make it a global game, right? Now the game is completely global. But with that current reality being the way that it is now LeBron is part of that, part of what Michael Jordan has already created, then you have to look at LeBron James as a product of what Michael Jordan did. We can't, sort of like a person who grew up poor. I'm going to give an example. A person who grows up poor, struggles, gets a good job, gets a good career, and has children. Well, guess what? Your children are not going to be born in poverty. They're not going to understand what poverty is. So LeBron James came into the NBA on the back of what Jordan built. now Jordan is crapping on what he built. It's inescapable, guys. Like, there's no way you can blame LeBron for this. He was such a great player that he was able to empower himself. And that's something that Michael Jordan didn't have. Michael Jordan didn't have personal player empowerment. Now, he had the league in his hands. He had his imprint and his footprints all over the NBA, but there was a limit to his power. But nevertheless, he had power. He gave the NBA a skeet taste of what a great player can embody, or what a great NBA player could possess. But he didn't fully reach his potential. LeBron James comes in on the back end and fulfills the things that LeBron James could not fulfill. I mean, LeBron James comes in on the back end of Michael Jordan and fulfills the things that Michael Jordan could not fulfill. So with that being said, I don't think it's worth crapping on anybody. This is just an era, and things happen in cycles. The Michael Jordan era was what it was. The LeBron James era is what it is. There is going to come another era after LeBron James that might not be a version of the NBA that Michael Jordan played in. And it will not be the version that LeBron played in. It may be, it may find its happy medium somewhere in between the LeBron James era and the Michael Jordan era. So we just need to embrace these cycles and these phases, and they're needed in order to usher in something even greater. It's called the process of evolution, or the evolution process, or the process of ascendancy, when you're ascending. All right, things do improve, but before things improve, oftentimes you will go through a rough patch. But those rough patches are needed in order for you to refine your approach and make it even more pristine, even much greater than what it was before. So I don't agree with anybody on that show. Actually, I don't think it's okay to crap on the modern NBA. I don't think it's okay to vilify LeBron James. And trust me, I'm not a LeBron James supporter to the point where I excuse everything that he does. But in a sense, he was only empowered by the foundation that was set by Michael Jordan. People were waiting for the next Michael Jordan, and people thought that LeBron James would be the next Michael Jordan. But LeBron James is not the next Michael Jordan. LeBron James is the next LeBron James. And he carved his own way and carved his own niche into the NBA and did it his way. But it was still initiated by what Michael Jordan had started, and the path that Michael Jordan paved for LeBron James to come in. So with that being said, no one should be vilified. You know, at first everybody loved LeBron for what he was doing for the NBA. Now people want to crap on him because he's towards the later end of his career, about to retire. Now everyone's like, I can't wait till he gets out of the league. He has a stranglehold on the league. No, he doesn't. This is a group effort. He's just doing what he can do. It's sort of like go inside of a classroom of a teacher who has poor classroom management. Then you're blaming everything on the teacher. I mean, you're blaming everything on the students. But you also have to look at the learning environment. You have to factor in other things. How's the classroom arranged? Who's the student sitting by that's distracting him? Why is he being allowed to do this? Does the teacher have strong expectations? So Adam Silver has a part to play in this too. So it's just not a LeBron James thing. It's bigger than LeBron James, but he tends to be the fall guy because he's one of the, if not the greatest player that's ever lived. But I don't think that he is. I still think that it's hard for me to even pick either one. And I don't even want to make this a debate about Michael Jordan and LeBron James, because there are many other great players that don't get, even like people like Wilt Chamberlain, or people like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Elgin Baylor, like people who put up great numbers statistically. If it's a stat thing, then of course you give it to LeBron, but he's played longer, which has allowed him to do so. But if you want to just talk about pure dominance and style and grace and just the magnetic aura, it's Michael Jordan. He has the mythical vibration that he puts upon people. People, when they revert back to the great days of the NBA, they always lump Michael Jordan in it. So choose whoever you choose. I don't give a damn who you feel is the greatest, but let's not vilify LeBron James as it's his thing, that he started load management, because he doesn't even really load manage. If anybody, you know what, if you guys really want to cast stones at somebody, everyone should look at Popovich. He's the one that started this bullshit, trying to be nuanced and, I'm going to rest my guys, they'll be better for the playoff. Like, he started that shit. Kawhi Leonard. So then the league started to adopt it. But I think what LeBron James did, he just ushered in player empowerment, where players were like, look, they want to team up with certain people, they want to go to certain teams, things like that. So I mean, yeah. So that's my take on that show. Just give me leave a comment to me what you guys think. Do you think it's fair to vilify LeBron, or do you think that it's just I just think it's just a normal pathway of evolution. When things just increase and get better, when things improve, you do have to go through these patches, and it allows us to see what we don't want, and it also allows us to see where we want to be. All right. So that's my take on it. All right, guys, leave a comment to me what you guys think. Peace.